What's up, guys? I'm Carly Williams, and I'm going to teach you guys how to maximize your weight loss in 7 days. Now, we are coming up on the beginning of the year when everybody starts to make all these resolutions, and it can be so frustrating if you have started a workout program or started a meal plan in the past or tried to lose weight in the past and failed. And honestly, it's not your fault. A lot of people just don't teach you how to manage your brain. And so I'm going to give you this mini course, and it's going to teach you the magic of how you can become whatever you want to become and how amazing you are as a human being. So let's get right into it. So first off, we're really good as human beings at decisions we make over and over and over again, okay? Our brains love efficiency. They love the decisions that they know. They love feeling comfortable, okay? But we, as human beings, have this amazing capacity to change and become whatever we want to become simply by switching all of our decision making and being willing to sit with discomfort that comes along with different decisions and different choices. And so you can choose to create something new by making different choices, okay? So we are going to focus on the next 7 days with you. I'm going to give you some tools to help you use the magic of your brain to create whatever kind of a result that you want in your life, including weight loss, okay? So let's start with a thought exercise. So I want you to close your eyes, and I know you're gonna be like, oh my gosh, Carly's making me close my eyes, but just do it, okay? So I want you to close your eyes, and I want you to envision a dinner or, no. Let's envision a dessert that you want to make, okay? I want you to envision your favorite dessert that you love making. Maybe you've never made it before, maybe you have, but I want you to envision the finished product of you making this dessert, okay? What does it smell like? What does it taste like? What are the ingredients that you need to buy at the store in order to get that finished product, okay? So the finished product, keep your eyes closed, is those brownies or that cake or those macaroons or whatever your thing is, right? But I want you to now envision all of the steps that you need to take in order to create that dessert that you want to make, okay? You can plan your way to making that dessert, and you can make that dessert a reality simply within your thoughts, okay? So I want you to open your eyes. Now, if you were to take that vision that you just had in your mind and actually create it, you could totally execute on that, right? Because you know that if you go to the store and you get all the ingredients and you put them together and you mix them around and you put them in the oven, that you are going to get that thing that you pictured in your mind, right? You have the power to create. That is our birthright as human beings, right? So just like you can do that with your favorite dessert, you can do that with your life, and you can do that with the body that you want, right? You can literally plan your way backwards from where you want to be and plan your way backwards and execute based on the plan of becoming whatever you want to become. It's so cool. It's so cool. We as human beings are the only species that can use this part of our brain called the prefrontal cortex, which I'm going to explain to you in a minute, to see what we can become and actually execute on that and be willing to sit with ourselves in the moment and make different decisions than any other species. We are so cool as human beings, and we've evolved to have this part of our brain, and it's so cool. We've been able to do amazing things throughout humanity simply because we have this evolved part of our brain, the prefrontal cortex, okay? So your current choices, what you're choosing right now, are what are determining your current weight. So since we're talking about weight loss, we're gonna go this direction, but this can actually help you with anything that you want in your life. It can help you plan whatever you wanna become. Whatever you're struggling with, you can literally make the exact same or the exact opposite decision and get a completely opposite result. You aren't destined to be a certain way. You can choose to become whatever you want to become. So weight loss is all about your decision making, and you always have a choice, okay? Anytime that you think that you can't choose what you're gonna eat or if you're gonna go to the gym or not, if you're like, I just can't do it, that's actually false. You're just choosing not to do it, right? For many reasons, and many of them may be legitimate, but you have the power to choose to change that if you want. And we need to hold that power and hold that truth close to our heart and really love it, okay? Because you can choose to face discomfort and do it anyways, even if you don't feel like it, right? You can literally ask yourself, if I were the healthy version of me, what decisions would I be making? And then you can execute those decisions and literally create what you decide in your mind. That's how our reality works, that's what a human being can do. It's fascinating, right? So I want you to take out a piece of paper, and I want you to brainstorm something that you could do for the next 7 days. We're going to chunk it down, right? Weight loss does take some time, but it all starts within the first 7 days. I think the first 7 days are so crucial, and the first 7 to 14, but first 7 days are so crucial for setting the foundation for your weight loss journey. And so I want you to, without letting your brain come up with I don't know or all of the excuses or whatever, I want you to think about some things that you could implement into your routine right now, and some decisions that you could make that you know if you did them for 7 days, it would move the needle in your weight loss journey, okay? So that can be something like fasting. If you are familiar with my protocols that I have my clients do, we are really into insulin and getting all sciencey about your body and everything, but so that's something that you could do, and you could do the research on fasting if you wanted to. So you could fast for the next 7 days. You could move your body for 30 minutes for the next 7 days. You could run a mile every single day. You could wake up at 5 a.m. and do like a completely different decision. Maybe you love sleeping in at 10. You could wake up at 5 a.m. and you could go to the gym and you could walk on the treadmill for 30 minutes and really set the foundation, right? You could not eat sugar for 7 days and see the discomfort that comes along with that. I just want you to brainstorm what you could do to move the needle on your weight loss journey, or to really like set the stage for the habit that you want to create. So I'm going to give you a second. I want you to just write it down. For me, that's always waking up at 5 a.m. and getting my butt to the gym before my kiddos wake up, because it's so much harder to execute your gym goals when your kids are awake, right? So for me, it's always like 5 a.m. And is that comfortable? No, but we're going to give you some tools, and we're going to set the stage for the expectations of execution. But for right now, I just want you to brainstorm with no limitations. What could I do for 7 days that would really set the stage and move the needle for losing weight? So I'm going to give you a second to come up with all of those, okay? So you really do create whatever reality that you want. And I paid thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, and I'm still paying a lot of money to figure out how my brain worked, and brain works, not worked. And I'm realizing more and more that it really is true that you create whatever reality that you want just by your thinking, and just by your belief system, and just by your decision making. And it all starts with our decisions in our brain. It really, really does, right? Like if you think that there's no way that you could ever lose weight, do you think that you ever try? Of course not. You're like, oh, I just can't lose weight. It's just part of my genetics. So you never try, and you make that statement true. So for right now, we're just going to operate under the assumption that you can lose weight. And I know that to be true. Nobody's exempt from losing weight. It's just a formula. You just make different decisions, and then you watch your body change. It's super cool, right? So I want you to make a schedule for the next 7 days, and I want you to pick something that you're going to commit to, if you want, for the next 7 days. And I want you to just write it down. I want you to write a little calendar, something that you could cross off so that your brain can see that you're progressing, something that will set the stage for your new habit, okay? So for me, I wrote my day 1, day 2, day 3, and you can do day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, day 6, day 7, okay? And this is the amazing thing that we can do as human beings with our prefrontal cortex. We can literally see where we want to go, see what we can become, and plan our way and execute if we want to. Right? It's so cool. It's so fascinating. And so I want you to just plan what you're going to do for the next 7 days that would move the needle. And maybe, you know what, where you're at in your journey is I can walk for 30 minutes. And that is amazing. And just like setting a habit and saying, I'm going to walk for 7 days. And then eventually that walk turns into a jog. And eventually that walk turns into a sprint. And then that sprint turns into a marathon. But you always have to set that little like teeny tiny habit at the beginning. But if you're really ready to go, maybe you set some bigger intentions for the next 7 days. But just plan what you're going to do. Decide what you're going to do, right? Here, if you want to follow something that I do in my challenges, this is kind of like, if you want to feel super badass, do this, right? Wake up at 5 a.m. and move your body for 30 minutes in any way that you want, wherever you are, right? That might be an insanity workout online. That might be walking. That might be a Kinergy workout. That might be a high fitness. That might be something on YouTube. It might be something that you loved to do in the past. It might be dancing. It might be whatever it is, whatever your level is. It doesn't matter. It's all about setting the stage for the habit that you want to create and getting on the path, okay? So if you wake up at 5 a.m. and move your body for 30 minutes and you fast until noon and you drink 2 liters of water when you're fasting, it's actually really awesome because you don't have to think about like, what am I eating? And I'm starving. It gives you so much more brain space and so much more time. It's so cool. And you're not hungry or you're going to train yourself to not be hungry, but that water will totally help you not feel hungry, and it will access your fat storages, and your body will actually go in and start feeding itself on your fat storages, which is how you lose weight. And that's so fascinating and so awesome that your body does that. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Oh my gosh, I just love this stuff. I geek out on it so much, and watching my challenge people like lose tons of weight just because we made certain decisions like I'm doing with you right now is so cool. And I'm like, you guys are fascinating human beings and you can create whatever you want. It's really true. And seeing them actually make that happen has been so fun for me. So you can fast until noon, drinking 2 liters of water in your fasting period. So you wake up and you don't eat until noon and you drink 2 liters of water. It's a ton, right? And that'll get out all the toxins and that will help you stay full. And then you break your fast, and this is just like the beginning thing. You break your fast with like 3 to 4 eggs cooked in butter, and you're not going to be hungry, and you're going to be totally fine, and you're going to nourish your body with the most optimal fuel, protein and fat together, and really like help your insulin. And that's a whole other topic that we're not talking about right now on how your body loses weight. But if you want to do that for the next 7 days, then that would definitely move the needle and set the stage for the habits that you want to create to lose weight. Now, I want to teach you how your brain works. How your magical brain works. I was like, did I write that wrong? No, how your magical brain works. I want to teach you about your amazing brain, okay? So you have 2 competing parts in your brain. You have this primal brain, and its main job is to get you to survive. So if you think about the caveman days, right? It's trying to keep us warm because we would die of hypothermia. It's trying to keep us safe and not die from a tiger. It's all of that like anxiety and trying to keep us in the tribe, right? It's trying to please everybody around us so we don't get kicked out of the tribe, because then we're going to die in the wilderness with the tiger because we're alone, right? So that's like the primal portion of our brain. Its main job is to help us survive. It wants to keep us comfortable. It wants to keep us safe. It likes efficiency. It doesn't want us to go out of the cave and explore the beautiful hills full of flowers, right? But then there's this other part of our brain that we have evolved to have, and it's called your prefrontal cortex. And your prefrontal cortex is almost like the modern brain, okay? And the modern brain, or the prefrontal cortex's job, is to have you thrive as a human being. I like to think of it almost as like your soul's communication with your brain. It sees what you can become, and there's something inside of you saying, go outside of the cave and be who you want to be and do whatever you want, because then you get to grow, and then you get to experience the flowers, and you get to experience a sunset. Instead of staying in a dark cave surrounded by everybody that you don't necessarily like, that's trying to keep everybody like in the same sphere and everything, that life is surviving, and we want to thrive. So you have this prefrontal cortex that's main job is to have you thrive, okay? And it can show you what you can become and where you want to go. And this whole prefrontal cortex is like I should start the diet tomorrow. That is prefrontal cortex. You're like, I know that I shouldn't be eating a whole bag of Oreos when I'm watching Netflix, right? And I'll do it tomorrow. I'm going to take care of it tomorrow. I'm going to take care of it tomorrow, right? That's the prefrontal cortex that knows what you should be doing, and your primal brain is in the moment and saying, I want those Oreos because they taste so good and I need to survive, and I need that sugar because it's so pleasurable to me and it gets in my system really fast. I need them right now or I'm going to die, right? But you're not going to die. That's primal brain. It's like survival, 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 survival. But survival is so different than thrival. Just kidding. Thriving, right? Thriving is like experiencing the life that you want to create instead of just like living every single day surviving, right? Survival is not as fun as thriving. And so we really want to like silence that primal portion of your brain that's trying to keep you safe and comfortable. And kind of like a toddler, like, I want it right now. I want it right now. I'm cold. I'm tired. I'm uncomfortable. I want to be comfortable, right? It's like that's the toddler primal portion of our brain. We want to silence that, and we want to be able to see what we can become and make good decisions even when we don't feel like it. And that's like the key. And you can do that in these next 7 days and really teach yourself that, hey, I can choose to become whatever I want to become. And it's so cool. It's so awesome. And you can do it day by day and feel so unstoppable because you chose to do something and you followed through with that commitment. It's so amazing. Okay. So let's talk about resistance. So we just made some decisions, right? 7 days. We're going to make some decisions We're going to do something for 7 days to hopefully move the needle in our weight loss journey. And every single time you make a commitment, it feels really good. And then all of this resistance starts to set in. There's a really amazing book called The War of Art by Stephen Pressfield, and he talks about this. And he said, every time that you're like going on a new path, everything tries to prevent you from doing it. Your friends will start criticizing you. You'll all of a sudden be like, I'm so tired. I don't want to do this. I feel like I need to like do the laundry before I go work out, right? Everything tries to prevent you from doing it. And resistance comes in so many forms. It's amazing. And my husband and I, who have been doing entrepreneurial ventures and stuff like that and really getting out of our comfort zone for a long time, just recognize resistance and welcome it in and know that it's going to be there. And we like to look at resistance as almost like whoever is willing to sit with resistance and overcome resistance is worthy of the benefit of growth. And so whenever you feel resistance, just know that you're on the right track. And that can come from self-doubt. That can come from, it's like distraction, right? Every time that you have a good idea, or like you're trying to write a book or something and you're trying to do something for your soul's progression, there's all of this stuff that prevents you from doing it. And a lot of that comes from fear or family or whatever. You'll notice a bunch of resistance trying to get you to stop doing it. And when you're prepared for the resistance, then you can have some tools to help you get it done anyways. And that is where your power comes in. So how do we overcome resistance? We overcome it with some brain hacks. Okay, so I want you to take out your journal that we started at the beginning. And I want to give you some little tools that I always use to stop the chatter in the brain that is resistance, and also to just overcome any other resistance that comes into your path to get your goal done that you committed to for 7 days. So there's this book called The 5-Second Rule by Mel Robbins. If you haven't read it, it's amazing. And it talks about resistance and says anytime that you have a really good idea, your brain tries to talk you out of it immediately. And that's that primal portion. It doesn't know how you're going to feel if you do something different. It loves efficiency. And so it's like, no, people could make fun of you, or you could lose all of your friends, or you could die because this is uncomfortable, right? So that is that primal portion of your brain. So in order to silence the primal portion of the brain, we can do this little exercise, this little hack, and we can say 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and a word that will snap you back into that prefrontal cortex and keep you focused on what you really want, okay? So some of my clients use power, some of them use sexy, some of them use healthy, some of them use like happy, whatever it is, right? So it's like, it's almost like your why. So for me, I'm always like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, power. Or 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, like progress or something. I don't know. Whatever that word is for you that ignites that fire in you and really is your why for why you're doing it, then it's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, that. And it snaps you out of that negative resistance brain talk that's like, no, you can't do this, or stay back and get back in bed. It's really warm in here, right? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, action. Or 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, word. And it'll totally help you stop all of the chit chat in your brain and all of that stuff that's trying to prevent you from doing it. And it'll help you take action, and you'll be able to like push past that resistance. The other thing is a reward system. What are you going to give yourself every single day if you hit your goal every single day? Now, a reward system can simply be like crossing off the days that you do it. That like is a really great mental hack. Your brain loves seeing streak systems like, I'm on a roll, I'm on a streak, and that will give you a little blast of dopamine if you just cross off the days that you get your goal done. So a reward system can be whatever you want. Maybe you give yourself, I love to do this little thing called $1 in a jar. Maybe you give yourself $1 every time you do a workout, or every time that you have an urge for chocolate and you don't answer it. Maybe you give yourself $1. Make it fun. How can you make it fun? Maybe it's a massage. Maybe it's a trip to Lululemon. Whatever it is, you can have the really fun reward system that will help you get this new behavior done that might feel a little bit uncomfortable for you, and it's totally fine. Self-care is a great way to motivate yourself to get over the resistance and actually execute on your goals, especially weight loss goals. Get in the bath. Really just like go inside and say, this is totally fine. I know I have some urges right now, but those are going to go away, and this bath feels amazing and it smells amazing and it can be pleasurable for you and still get you to where you want to go, and it doesn't have to be something that's going to throw you off course. The other thing that I love to do is I love to tell people that you're going to observe things and you're not going to react to them. So when you're having an urge, for sugar, let's say you've committed to no sugar for the next 7 days, just because you know that that's something that you struggle with. It's not going to feel good for you, and that's totally normal and totally fine, because your brain loves efficiency and it loves things that you have been used to doing. It loves decisions that you have been making. Good job, baby. I'm working for a second. Can I? But you can stay with me. It loves the efficiency, right? It loves the decisions that you've been deciding to do over and over and over again, because it knows what the result is. It loves that, right? So you're going to feel some urges. You're going to feel some discomfort inside of you, because you're like, whoa, I'm getting all of these urges. I'm so used to eating chocolate with my Netflix every single night, and my brain loves that. And so there's going to be a little bit of discomfort inside of me. But discomfort like that and urges are only little vibrations in your body, and they're totally fine, and you can just observe them. You can be like, this is so interesting. This is what an urge feels like, or this is what running feels like. It's like not a problem. You don't need to attach a bunch of drama, and you don't have to attach a bunch of reactions to changing your decisions. So those are some little tools that will help you stay on track and get your things done. And honestly, if you can look at the rewards that you get from chocolate versus the reward that you get from doing something hard, it's like euphoria versus a little bit of pleasure from chocolate, right? And it's really so much better to set an intention and actually execute and push through and show yourself how incredibly powerful you are. It's amazing. So the main job of you, whenever you're trying to do different decisions and change your habits, is you have to silence that primal portion of your brain that is trying to keep you comfortable. It's totally fine to feel discomfort. Discomfort's just a sign that you're growing. Every time that we have growth, we're going to feel discomfort, and discomfort is totally fine. It's mostly just little vibrations in our body or little muscles that are burning a little bit, and that's okay. That's what we want. Or something exciting. Yeah, discomfort can be exciting if you make it exciting. You can say, oh yeah, muscles, I love discomfort because it brings me so much change. That's what I always say. So you're not going to feel like it a lot of the time right in the moment, but once you start and once you do it anyways, you'll feel so good. So you're not going to feel like it, but do it anyways. So make commitments to yourself using your prefrontal cortex, and that's the part of your brain that can plan and see what you can become in the future and plan your way back. So you need to listen to that front prefrontal cortex part of your brain that makes commitments with yourself, and you need to honor those commitments to yourself. It's so important to honor commitments to yourself, and especially using your prefrontal cortex. It's like the adult part of your brain, right? Instead of always living in the moment for that momentary pleasure. It's so amazing to honor commitments with yourself, and that's all it takes. And I invite you guys, if you want more help with your commitments and daily motivation and a group to help you get through all of this discomfort, and more tips and tricks and how to have the most optimal fuel for the best fat loss and all of that fun stuff, I invite you guys to join my challenge. It really is the perfect package, because we do mental and we do the food and we do the workouts, and I make it so much easier. And I promise you, you will be so happy that you joined my challenge if you join it. And if you don't, then please use this system and use it every single week and just plan your way and honor those commitments with yourself. I just got a text message from somebody in my challenge that was like, I am so grateful that I paid the money to join this challenge, because having a little bit of skin in the game actually helps me execute and helps me sit with that discomfort. And I'm so happy because I've lost 16 pounds. And we've only been doing it for 5 weeks. This is the real deal. I'm the real deal. I love helping people do this. I do this. I practice this. And it is the most amazing way to live. And if you have tried to lose weight in the past and failed, it honestly isn't your fault. People just didn't know how they just didn't teach you how your brain worked. And I would honestly be so stoked to help you crush any goals that you have for 2021 and get you feeling better and give you the most optimal human experience and show you your power. And that's what I'm good at, and I love it. So if you want to come, you're invited, and I love you guys. If not, please use these tools. You're amazing. Love you. Okay, bye.